Folks, it's February 16th. It's 3 days away from my birthday, and Pluto returning, and the New World Order is instituting one world government. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about a perfect album that came out. This album is like, I was waiting for this album to come out. I was waiting for the perfect quarantine expression album to come out. If you really love music, you listen to new music every year. You listen to it as it comes out. The best is when you feel like you hear something that directly communicates what's going on in the overall consciousness, in the universe, in society, in the world. We can get into Sabian symbols and like weird stuff that I believe that explains this. Kali Yuga, disintegration. Hopefully we're ending that soon. My birthday should be a nice day for everybody because Pluto comes back. Anyway, we're not talking about that. We're talking about music. We're talking about my favorite music. As the world falls apart, we're talking about the best records. Perfect 10 records. I only give you my favorite stuff. There's plenty of stuff I don't like. I don't review it. This is a masterpiece. It's an insanely brilliant album. It's kind of like, it's so delicate, it's so careful, it's one of the most delicate synth explorations I've heard on record. And if you enjoy genres of music that are like experimental pop, if you like dark ambient music, anyway, this to me feels like a direct reflection of the consciousness of the current world in a way that's just downright impressive. yuele, or yuele? I don't know how she or he pronounces it. Non-binds, shout non-binds. She says she feels like a boy and a girl. I believe she identifies as female. Anyway, she's a fucking genius. She came out with this album that's like, if you like Grimes, I like Grimes a lot. I think Visions and Art Angels are her only two tens. I don't like what she's been releasing recently as much. I think Visions was her best. This is probably better than Visions, honestly. This reminds me of like throbbing gristle level darkness, industrial. This is a very industrial influenced album. It sounds like björk at her darkest and most robotic. Sounds like Sophie. It's like björk and Sophie gave birth to this robot that's experiencing nakedly consciousness for the first time. The wildness and the innocence of this record reminds me of bands like Throbbing Gristle, like early Royal Trucks. It sounds akin to, if you like Arca, if you like Aya. The Aya record sounds a lot like this record. In fact, the first song on the Aya record is basically doing the exact same thing as the first song on this record. I think this record accomplishes it better. I love that Aya record. I love Sophie records. I love Arca. I think it's not coincidental that a lot of the most important and beautiful, fulfilling music right now is coming from these transgender electronic artists. I think we're experiencing a kind of symbiosis with technology, following a collapse of society, and we're retreating into the machines and into drugs, which is explored in this immediately, very directly. It's like, it opens with her voice with some tinkering synth behind it. Again, very, very graceful, very delicate, very restrained. Just these kind of tinkering synth noise in the background. And then she says, she goes, "My name is Nat Jamal. I'm 22 years old. I like music, dancing, ballet, crushing up rocks and snorting them, and genderless people. I like to eat, but I don't like it when it lingers on my body. I like to take up as little space as possible. I like pretty textures and sound. I like the way some music makes me feel. I like making up my own world and the people who live inside me. I like to dress up and not going out. I like my cat, Miso. I like touching myself. And I like being far away from my own body. I like sweet things, physical and consumable. I like short sentences that say everything I felt at one go. I like obsessing over people and throwing them away. I like being a boy. I like being a girl. I like getting fucked, and I like to fuck. I like to be pure. I like believing there's a cure. But most of all, when she gets to her grand thing that's the most important, it's just glitch noise. So you don't get to hear what the most important thing is. But that's how she opens the record. And if you don't relate to or understand why those lyrics are great and important, I don't know how to explain them to you. Again, if you don't like Björk, if you don't like Arca, if you don't like Sophie, you're probably not going to like this record. Listen to me review the fucking Allman Brothers. I'll do that. The Allman Brothers have just as many tens as Grimes. I'm a slut. I like music. I don't care what kind of music you're making. Just do it well. This is very good music. This is a perfect statement of a record. It's so melodically, rhythmically, just like a bombast of crazy synth ideas that never feels like it coalesces. It always just feels like it's constantly moving. And the songs on it individually are beautiful. After the opening song, My Name Is Not Chiemel, is the song Electric, which is more delicate and pretty, but has these bursts of wild, triumphant synth. She just detachedly speaks over this piano synth, and the chorus becomes her voice. She sings a line, and then the synth repeats the line, and then her auto-tuned voice becomes the synth line in this ultra-compressed, suffocated, detached refrain. It's like she's surrendering and becoming full robot. It's a beautiful song, Electric. After that is Flowers Are Dead. Might be my favorite song on the record. Sonically, it's incredible. I don't care to explain the weird drums and instruments and synths that are coming in. I don't think that'll help you. It's just, it actually goes into like a rock groove and then fades to ambience for a bit before exploring these spaces, and then it just is vocal, and then it becomes this ambient piece. Again, with these amazing lyrics. The lyrics to Flowers Are Dead. What makes you so uncomfortable? Seeing people in love. What makes you so sad? Because I don't have someone to. Damage. Oh. I don't want to be in my body. Oh. I can still smell. The flowers then. The flowers there. The flowers then. The flowers are dead. What makes you unlovable? Love is dead to me, you see? And why does it make you so sad? Because I've taken so much damage. Oh, I don't want to be anybody. I can still smell the flowers then, the flowers there, the flowers are dead. Musically, this was already a perfect song before those lyrics were on it. Perfect Blue is great. It's like trap drums and crazy rhythms. Shout Toji, whoever the fuck that is. He's apparently featured on this. And then next, this crazy anomaly that makes me adore this record even more, Don't Be So Hard on Your Own Beauty, is a fucking Taylor Swift song. Like a full-blown indie folk pop song with kind of optimistic lyrics. It's kind of a love song. There's beautiful melody. It's a tightly wound lyrical poem. The lyrics get a little darker. She's bleeding. She's bruising. But it's all contained within this kind of retreat to the physical world. This retreat to being embodied. This retreat to having romance, not this detachment that's the overriding thing in most of this record. So it's very refreshing within the context of it. Fragments, you get back right away into the darkest of ambience, musique concrète, unintelligible vocalization. It's a great musical piece if you like weird electronic music. Inside Too Dead, I love. It's a catchy, dark piece of like synth pop. Amazing lyrics. Should I read all the lyrics to this entire album, Too Dead Inside? The lyrics are full of love, full of hate, can't decide what to take. Take me somewhere pretty, pretty enough to fill this empty. I can only get so close to looking like how I want to be. I can't stop relying on the darkness of my own demons. It's unholy. Memories, the curse of teeth that bites into my flesh and bleeds me out. The bloody mess I made, the love that always fades, the flowers that remain. Where do I go when I want to see the sunrise, but I'm too dead inside? She repeats too dead inside a bunch of times. It's a fantastic song. You should listen to this whole record start to finish. After that is Bites on My Neck. It's this synthy dream world, robot palace that you've snuck into. And then it builds to a burst with like a dance beat and like a robotic, like K-pop peak. It sounds like Korean Japanese pop music for a few measures, and then it's back to the dark drum drone land. There's some xylophone, vibraphone briefly, and then it's like this ultra compressed. You get the synths, the JRPG synths, which I guess are just in vogue right now because I hear them on the good new records. People are just playing these really kind of compressed, weird electro synth soloing things. I dig it. Anyway, it's a pulsating IDM dance beat with breathy like K-pop vocal. It's a fantastic song. You know that I could love you with my bare hands. You know that I could kill you with my bare hands. Don't know what I want, bruising and bleeding. Just don't know what I want. Bleeding over here. 𝐴 has fantastic lyrics. You know I hurt myself, but I heart you. That's what we do now. We heart people. Heart me. Heart this. That's love now. Thumbs up. Emoji. Love is a heart emoji. We are being turned into robots by corporations. Some people feel the effects of this and communicate through poetry the intense trauma that we are going through as our species is being transformed and our society is collapsing. I was waiting for somebody to communicate quarantine in an album. I finally feel like I found that album, and I'm delighted. Friendly Machine is great musically. It's one of the coolest grooves. This wild, tantruming, bombastic synth. It's the soul completely torn apart and just left to dwell in the escapism of zeros and ones. Around my neck, a friendly machine pretends to wipe my memory clean, pretends to make it all go away, pretends to make me just feel okay. I just like to think I'm doing just fine. I like to search my symptoms online. I liked when all the voices were gone. I liked to be with you all alone. And then around my neck, a friendly machine. I'm listening to this on headphones, and I'm like, yeah, around my neck, friendly machine. Then Mandy. Mandy might be my favorite song. It's so good musically. The lyrics are like a computer glitching out and arguing with itself. And so is kind of the music. It's not too glitchy. It's more, they use fireball sounds, like the sound of a fireball in a video game, like that. If that come in, it's like a little sliver of evil K-pop or something. And then there's this weird, like, breakcore breakdown that turns into a spoken word K-pop anthem. Suddenly, it's like they go from the extreme dark to light, and then the album I thought was over, but no. There is a track, the final track on this album after Mandy, the things they did out of love, for me out of love. The things they did for me out of love is a 4-hour ambient piece. It is 4 hours of very patiently moving through different slow synth noises. And it's beautiful. You should meditate to it. You should do whatever you're into to it. Lay down all thought, surrender to the void. It is shining. It is shining.